Chuck Kent for Brandingmag and the Branding Roundtable. I'm here today with Nicole France, who is the Manager of Thought Leadership and C-Suite Marketing for Cisco. And if you've been off-planet for the last several decades, Cisco is the global IT and networking leader. So today we're going to be talking about thought leadership, specifically how thought leadership builds brands. So Nicole, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first of all, how do you define thought leadership today?
It's a good question. I define thought leadership as creating a conversation that informs and shapes people's thinking. And if you think about who you might include in that group of people, it really is a pretty broad scope. Certainly customers. That's one of the main reasons why we as companies invest in thought leadership, is to help inform our customers' thinking. But it doesn't stop there. I think if you really do a good job of it, you are equally informing your competitors' thinking, and certainly all of those outside third-party experts that are really the observers and commentators on what's going on as well.
So what do you think qualifies an organization as being a thought leader?
This is one of those things that you probably could measure better than I could as the branding guy. But really, I think a lot of it is down to perception. So this is the companies that are perceived to be driving an industry forward, driving innovation. Certainly in the technology space, that is one of the key things that distinguishes leaders from everyone else. Thought leaders, I think, are the ones that really help to articulate what that means and what it is going to deliver in terms of impact. So those audiences that we're writing for are really the ones that we're trying to shape that understanding for as well.
Can you think of sort of the core benefits to a brand, if you will, both short and long term, of investing in thought leadership?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in the short term, good thought leadership, among other things, generates some attention. It generates some headlines, it gets some media or press coverage. But it also, very importantly, is attracting the attention of those key audiences that you've really tried to focus on in developing that content. And that, I can speak for our own company and say, is very much our customers or the companies we hope to have as customers.
So it is a good prospecting tool, certainly.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think it's also good in building long-term relationships with existing customers. Mm-hmm. Cisco hasn't gotten to be the size it is without a pretty loyal long-term customer base.
What would you point to as an especially effective thought leadership program at this point? And feel free to use your own if you think you're killing it.
I think we have too much on our list of things that we know we still need to do as a team to ever say we're killing it. I don't know that we'll ever get there, in our own estimation at least, but I do think we are doing some really good things at Cisco in terms of helping to take what are some really complex technology trends and articulating them in terms of what they really mean for a business. What they really allow you to do in this era of digital transformation, and what that ultimately means for how you interact with your own customers. So I'm very proud of that. It's a huge task in a company as large as Cisco to not only distill these ideas and tell them in a way that's very clear and compelling, but it's also a big challenge just to communicate them throughout the whole organization. So that's one of the other big tasks on our list. I think there are a lot of great thought leadership programs out there. I think GE Reports is great. One of the things they do incredibly well is almost investigative journalism on themselves, what's happening within GE, and really tying those stories to things that matter to customers and even to the world at large. I am a huge fan of Deloitte University Press as well. I think they do some really interesting stuff. And what they do is not the sum total of what Deloitte publishes as thought leadership, but they have the advantage of being a little bit of a remove from the rest of the organization at a bit of an arm's length. And I think that allows them to do the kind of questioning and research and analysis that sometimes is hard to justify if you're really at the coalface in a commercial organization.
So that really comes down to sticking your neck out to just offer great insight, great information versus marketing copy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know from my own experience throughout my career, and also from talking to some of the people who work in a number of these thought leadership programs, that it is challenging. I mean, it's creative tension, to put it mildly, and occasionally a little more like friction. But I think these are the kinds of programs that really help to push the envelope in a positive way.
Great. Well, thank you very much for being here today. I wish we could go on, but I know that you have to get going, and so we will say thank you. This has been Chuck Kent and Nicole France for Branding Mag and the Branding Roundtable.
Thank you, Chuck.
Great to be here.